Welcome in Craft and Design 3.0 for my dear audience. In this video, I will describe some different and much beautiful ideas of uh, metal, metal sculpture, animals or metal sculpture, different animal craft for decoring purpose or for the learning process. So, my dear guys, how to make a metal sculpture? How are metal sculpture made, or what are the technique of different metal sculpture for the purpose of making animals, for decoring ideas, or for different other ideas? What is the process of making a sculpture, or how to create a sculpture? So, metal sculpting or alloy casting is the process of creating objects of metal by pouring liquid metal into molds to form them in sculpture or other items. So, copper, brass, bronze, and aluminum are the most common materials poured into molds. Making a metal sculpture is relatively easy and inexpensive. So, what are the techniques of metal sculpture? Metal can be worked in a variety of ways in order to produce sculpture. Or they can be cast, that is melted and poured into molds. So, squeezed under pressure into dies, as in coin making, or work directly. For example, by hammering, bending, cutting, welding, and repose, hammered or pressed in or relief. So, what is the process of making sculpture? Sculpture process include many methods such as carving, modeling, and assembly and casting. So, carving is a subtractive method in which excess material is removed from a solid block of substances like wood or stone. So, carvers use tools like chisel and gauges. So, how to create a sculpture? Because sculpting for beginners, some essential tips and tricks to get choose a workspace and experiment with a variety of tools and sketch a design and build an armature and add filler to the armature and start with the basic form. So forming or adding section or adding texture and curing also. So, how to start a metal sculpture? Step one, choose your sculpture. The first thing you need to do is to choose a subject matter or something. I said to make a sculpture of gather materials and tools and arc welding and oxygen type acetylene welding, and also I think base building and sculpting your sculpture and advance and reviewing. So, how are metal craft made? The metal was subjected to two basic processes. One is forging and casting. Traditionally, the raw material used for the production process were either metal or scrap. So, what are metal sculpture made of? Other metal do get used like aluminium, steel, and brass, but bronze is generally the most common. So, the sculptor will most often make their sculpture in clay, and then while the clay is still wet, they will put a coating of wax over the entire surface of the sculpture, around 1 to 2 centimeter thick. So, what is the name of the process used to make metal sculpture? A common method of creating sculpture using metal is called casting. So, this is an additive process because the artist adds material to make the sculpture. So, what is the process of metal art in for making the animals? So, metal casting is the process of creating forms by pouring molten metal into a mold and then allowing the metal to cool and harden. Forms may be created using different techniques, such as lost wax and casting in which we see that is a rogata, and clay mold casting, which is called as a sogata, a section mold casting, which is a komagata. And what are the some ways to create sculpture of a special for making animals for different, or making some bird for decorating purpose in any garden, in any lawns, in our for learning procedure we can use, a teacher can in different universities, colleges, and different other school bases. So four of main method of sculpture include carving, assembling, modeling, and casting especially. So some four basic sculpture material type, there are four main types of classical sculpture defined by the material an artist chooses to use. So the four traditional material for created a sculpture were stone carving, uh, bronze casting, wood carving, or clay firing. So, how to learn sculpture making? Learn from scratch to make a sculpture, to realize a three-dimensional pieces molded in plasticine or clay. So, have knowledge about the use of material suitable for the manufacture of a sculpture. So, construct a simple, stable structure, and perform light value also, and work texture with different techniques and different authentications. So, but in five, some kind of art is metal, or which artist does metal sculpture, or how to shape metal at home in different categories, in different animal categories. So, uh, which artist is a metal sculpture? Other bronze sculpture include Donatello, Phidias, and Myron, and Polycletus. Other artists known for creating metal sculptures include Isamu Noguchi and Lois Borgias, and Anthony Caro, and Mark Di Sovero, and Henry Matisse, and Henry More, and Edgar Degas, and Alberto Giacometti, and Jacob Epstein, and Umberto Bocchini also. So, when did metal sculpture start? There is evidence of metal art which goes all the way back to 7000 BC, and indeed it is thanks to the resilient nature of metal that some of oldest items ever found in archaeological digs have been metal art. So, how do you make a simple sculpture? Plan a design, make a mold, and mix a plaster and different other categoricals and top tips. If you would like to add some color to the plaster, add acrylic or poster paint at the striding stage. So pour the plaster into the molds and reveal the finished sculpture, and variation and differentiation, and silicone mold also prescribed. Metal craft is a budding industry. This involves shaping metal in a beautiful form to produce amazing and stunning design. And metal craft have recently gained much recognition due to the beautiful and durable craft it makes. So the metal can be anything: brass, stainless steel, iron, and also copper. So my dear audience, I think that my video and my idea inspired you much. If inspired, then subscribe my channel and like my video and share my video. Thank you very much.